Did my star pour cookie cutter technique dry well? And can we do something like it again? Stick around, let's find out. Hi everyone, it's Miriam with a Y. For the last couple of videos, I've been experimenting with a new technique, customizing how we direct the paint when we do an acrylic pour. We left off after having tried a star as our paint guide, and we got an awesome result. But can the resulting star in the painting survive the drying process? And if it doesn't, but we still get a fun result, can we do it with silicone? I'm curious too. Did the star survive the drying process? Well, I need to tell you something. When I put this away to dry, I had the thumbtacks still in the back of the painting. And I set this down on my drying rack, and there was a little glob of paint that had dried there. And apparently it ended up being exactly underneath the thumbtack that I had right here. And it elevated this end just enough to cause the paint to slide. I went in to check on this a few hours later, and I was able to catch it before too much had slid off the canvas. So things shifted a bit. But to be honest with you, I kind of like it better because it looks a little less perfectly centered and symmetrical and all that. So I am totally okay with this. And I am in love with this. The star stretched a little bit because everything slid down here. So some of this got lost, but that's okay. I love this banding. I am totally baffled by the crazing that happens along the edge. A couple paintings back, I thought it was the metallic that had this issue, but I didn't use any metallic in this, so it's almost as if the colors are interacting with the white and crazing when they hit the white, which is fine because it gives it a really nice texture all the way around. It's totally consistent. It happens on the periphery perfectly. So I have no problem with it and like it. I love that you can see sort of like the zigzaggy escape of the paint on the 5 points of the star. I don't know how it'll work in today's pour because I'm not going to do a ring pour type pour. I'm just going to do a continuous puddle pour. So color after color after color. And we're adding silicone. So let's see what that does. For my colors this time, I'm taking a risk. I want to try something more earth tone based with a punch of aqua and green. My inspiration is copper and the patina colors that copper changes to, but I'm adding gold metallic highlights. Well, why? Well, because I'm hoping it's going to be fun and pretty. My DecoArt colors are Glorious Gold, Citron Green, Burnt Sienna, Peacock Teal, Burnt Umber, Green Tree, and their Extreme Sheen in 24 karat gold. I've mixed a creamy color for myself as my negative space because I think that's more in keeping with these colors than like a stark white. I've added silicone to this color, and I've also added silicone to this one and a little bit to this, which will be a color that I add in periodically to give it a little bit of contrast. What I've also done was to the Glorious Gold, I added some copper so that I have more of a rose gold metallic than a second gold since I'm using this Extreme Sheen gold. This is going to be one giant, oh my gosh, I hope this works, piece. But whatever happens, I'm hoping it's interesting. So let's see how it goes. My canvas is nice and level. Let us start pouring some paint. I am going to start with my sort of tan negative space color. Remember, this color has silicone in it. And my second cup of this is a little bit lighter. It's not that big a deal because it blends in really easily. But I just want to make sure that I have enough paint all the way around. And I want to get this off to the edge and have it run off. Okay, the trickiest part for me is always positioning this star, trying to get it as centered as I can. Yeah, let's go with that. I'm going to start with my favorite color, the teal. I'm going to put a good amount down because the last painting, teal was the first color I put down, but it didn't end up being the first color on the border, which I can't explain. So I'm putting a lot down because I would like it to be the border. I'm hoping that if I put a lot down, it'll happen. And then I'm gonna go with the rose gold that I made up by adding copper to the glorious gold. How about some green? And then this sort of off-whitey color. Some paint is starting to escape. Ooh, and I do see some cell behavior inside the star. Oh. Now see, already the colors that I added here have sort of condensed the colors that were there first, so you don't even see them anymore along the edge. But they are coming out first here. And what's interesting is that I can see that the aqua or teal is going underneath this tan color. I don't know if you can see it, but I can see sort of the shadow of it underneath. So there is a round petal forming, but a lot of it is under this tan color. Let's add a dark color for some contrast. See what that does. Some teal again, followed by some extreme sheen. That is so pretty coming out, oh my word. And now this color. Now this color has some silicone in it. So that will be interesting to see how it behaves. I'm going to add some of this lighter color to maybe interact with that siliconed green. Some more rose gold. The petals are growing at an even rate, but they're not all really the same. There was gold here before, and that got kind of crunched up, so maybe when we spin, it'll open back up. I like this earth tony look. I really like the star that's inside too. That's pretty cool. I hope we get something like that at the end. And they're little baby itty bitty cells. Let's go with some green again. And maybe, oops. I'm tempted to spin now, just to see what would happen, rather than wait and spin. I think I'm going to spin a little now, spread these out a little bit, and then see what we need to do next. If you haven't seen the previous video, the reason I'm spinning is rather than tilt, spinning lets me spread out the colors in a more even way. The centrifugal force pushes the paint toward the periphery, away from the center. Oh, that's very interesting. This one is going that way. So the star, as far as I can tell, is still centered, but paint wants to go that way. And I'm not sure why. I'm okay with that because luckily that's the top. I dig these. I think these are very cool looking. I do kind of want them to come this way just a little. I'm not sure how to get that done. What if... All right, you guys, I'm doing something radical. I'm gonna try to pick this up, hold the star in place, and tilt. Holy cow. Okay, that's enough of that. Okay, so what that did is it made what's in the star pour out more toward these two. And let's see now. So now these are heavier with paint than these guys. So let's see what happens when we spin now. Does that make any difference? Yes, it does. It definitely did. It made these come down more. Ugh, this is turning out so cool. Oh my gosh, I love this. And I kind of like that the petals are all kind of different, and I'm loving this color palette. I really am. This whole technique is just making me happy, happy, happy. Okay, I don't really need much more to go on in the petals. I just want something more fun in the center. So I'm going to add some paint. This is just to make the center interesting. I don't need paint so much to come out of the star. I just want it to be interesting. Now I'm trying to think of what color. Well, not teal, because that just makes me happy. A little of the dark color and a little of the light color. Some of the rose gold. Now I'm going to sort of tendril inside the star. Just sort of pushing toward the escape points. And then maybe toward the other 5 corners too. And then maybe a drop of extreme sheen. I think I'm going to stop there. Now, all I'm doing is making sure that the paint has come over the edge nicely. The one thing I should have done, and I didn't think to do, I should have painted the canvas this color first so that I wouldn't have bare canvas showing. Usually if I'm going to use a different color, negative space color than white, I paint the canvas that color first, but I forgot. So now I'm just making sure that there aren't white bare spots showing through. But other than that, I'd say we're done. I'm going to wait until the last possible second again to lift the star. So I'm going to finish this, sort of touch up the sides kind of thing, and give the paint another minute or two to settle before I lift up the cookie cutter. The last little thing that I'm doing is I'm using the hose from my fish tank, and I am blowing very gently here just to induce the edge here to fall off. Since this one has done it, I kind of would like this one to also show you that. And this is really the most gentle blowing I possibly can. I don't want to distort it or make it feather in a way that's not natural looking. I want it to sort of mimic what's happening here a little. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I think that's enough. It's giving it a little bit of balance. I'm loving this. I like each one more than the one before. Okay, I have done everything I need to do. So it is now time to lift the star. All right, cross everything you've got. Fingers, toes, eyes, everything. Let's do this. Oh, yay! Oh my God. I don't even know what to say. I am loving this. This is hands down the most fun I've had pouring paint. I love everything about this process. It is glorious fun and so full of possibility. Look at that star. Oh my word. Taking risks with this paid off. And bonus, we wasted very little paint. These may be atypical colors, but they worked well together, don't you think? What off the beaten path colors have you used? Join my Facebook group to show them off, to get answers to questions, to get inspired, and so much more. Subscribe for more experiments and some exciting resin and jewelry projects coming up. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to show you. Leave a comment telling me what you're excited to see and what you think of this new technique. Did you like our adding cells? My mind is racing with bigger, better directions to take this. I think we're going to have so much fun. Give this a thumbs up if you think so too. To see exclusive pours, get free digital downloads, and more, join the team making this channel possible by becoming my patron on patreon.com. If you'd like to contribute in other ways, there are options in the description box below the video, as well as helpful links for everything I used in this video and more. Now, the easiest free way to help me develop more techniques and videos is to click on any of those Amazon links right before you make any Amazon purchase, whatever it is, even socks. Thank you in advance for that support, for sharing this video as much as you can, and for being my amazing viewers. You make this channel such a joy for me. All right, say it with me now. Go let your creative nature shine. See you in just a couple of days. Bye now.